We're joined by Father Petringa and Mary Hanlon, and they're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with the priests here in the Archdiocese of Boston. Guys, thanks so much for being on today.
You're welcome.
Thank
It's
you
good to be
for
with
having
you.
us.
And you know, Mary, I've known you for years because of Father Tierney. I have to say that because I'm sure he's watching. So we have to say that he's doing. And your dad, Deacon, just retired.
Deacon Tom Hanlon just retired
So
last year.
Thanks, Deacon, for all you've done for the church in general. But we're going to talk about priests today. And Mary, tell me about your role and what you have to do when you get out there and what you do.
Well, I think I'd like to begin with, I did start out at Regina Clergy for 11 years, and I took care of all the senior retired priests in Regina Clergy. We had an infirmary, and the priests are well taken care of. It's a wonderful place. Then things had changed around a little bit, and I went for an interview to take care of all of the priests on the outside of Regina Clergy, which consisted of 250 senior retired priests that we have actually right now. One of the main jobs I do is I have a senior outreach program, and I will visit every senior retired priest.
That's a lot.
Nice.
It takes me a year, but I can do it.
That's something I can look forward to.
That's right. That's right. What I mainly do is make an appointment with them. I take a region, I'll make an appointment with them. The first year was a little bit difficult. They didn't quite know who I was because there was never a nurse in that position for the priest. But then this is my third year doing it, and it's a lot easier to make an appointment. They say, come on over, I'll go to their home, take their blood pressure, just go over the evaluation of how they're feeling, maybe teach them a little bit about their meds, what they should be eating. Lifeline, if they need it, I make sure the home is safe that they're in, because most of the priests do live by themselves.
Do you bring cupcakes?
I bring sometimes I bring cupcakes, sometimes I bring little gadgets, little things, toothbrushes, things like that.
Right.
But they really enjoy it. They give me some information that's confidential about their healthcare proxies, which is important for me to have. And they're very pleasant and very gracious. It's a great job.
And what makes all of this possible and makes it all work is the Clergy Health and Retirement Trust. Father Jerry Petringa, Episcopal Vicar up in the north, a man who has always worn many hats with a smile.
Yes.
You've been involved with the Clergy Health and Retirement Trust for a bunch of years.
A number of years, yes. Started out in the Priest Advisory Committee that we met regularly to oversee the way the funds were dispersed to make sure the priests got all the appropriate care that they needed. And then when the stock market crashed several years ago,
Yes.
the clergy funds, like everybody else's retirement fund, took a big hit. And at that point we needed to review the way that we were dealing with things and to make sure that there were ways to treat fairly and justly each priest who needed care, priests who needed their retirement stipend to live on. So we, not under the direction of, but with the help of Joe DeRigo, who is the director of the clergy funds, he brought together a new group of priests as an advisory committee, and we rewrote policy to make sure that we could sustain the obligation of the Archbishop. As you know, the Archbishop has a responsibility to care for all of his priests.
Right.
And the mechanism is through the clergy funds. To care for priests who are working, to care for priests who are in their senior years. And so under the direction of Joe and with his guidance, we rewrote policy to make sure that there was fairness and justice in the system. And with his help and all of the hard work that we've done over the years, I am very happy to say that we've really turned a corner. And
Thank God.
the funds are stable. We have gone from deficit spending to being in the black, and it's a great success story, and we're very proud of the work that we have done in clergy funds to care for all of the priests of the Archdiocese.
Of course, there's a big collection coming up this weekend in all the parishes of the Archdiocese. We hope people will support that. And then every Easter and Christmas, there's another collection, too. That's one of the ways that...
Correct, yes. And most of the support for our priests is through the goodness of the people that sit in the pews. And so there are those 3 opportunities during the course of the year in their own parish to contribute to the care and support of priests. Christmas and Easter are our biggest efforts, and the largest donations come in those times, but also in the September collection, where in September we focus on all of the good work that the priests do, not only through the collection, but the celebration of Priesthood Dinner, which is coming up later this month.
And always a great time, and congratulations to everyone who did turn that around, because I know it was a very dire at that point. Mary, let's put a face on this a little bit. So you go out and you see these priests, and you said a lot of them are alone. What are these guys like? Because you know I'm a huge fan of priests. Tell me about that. What are these guys
Well, you know what? They have their own personalities, each and every one of them. But there is one thing in common they do have, is they have a culture. And it's good to know the culture of the priests before meeting them and what's expected and what isn't. They're very private. They've been brought up in a private institution where they usually studied alone, did a lot of the masses alone, lived alone in the rectories. And that's how that's what they're used to. So they have their own homes, not just homes, assisted livings, rectories that they still stay in, and assisted livings, nursing homes. Those are the 4 that I cover in taking care of the priest. And what I do is I go into the homes and we sit and we talk. Like I said, we go over things that they need to know. We talk about their future and what they're planning for their senior. I want to make sure that they're healthy emotionally and physically. I do make recommendations after my evaluations, and they pretty much listen and do what I pretty much ask them to do, as long as they ask their primary care first, which works out well. There's also what we do for the senior retired priests too, is we have, and for the active priest as well, because I'm involved with the active priests. If one of the priests goes to the hospital, I get the message and I'll go visit. Make sure that their care is well taken care of. I organize, I talk to the parents. Usually the healthcare proxy is not the parent, it's usually the niece, nephew, most of the family's gone. So I coordinate with the case manager on the best care that they get and where they go from there.
And this celebration of Priesthood Dinner is coming up next week, and always a fun time because you see people from different parishes and priests that you might have known from the past. Looking forward to that.
Yes, it's always a good night, and it's amazing when you walk into that room and you just see the number of people that are there. As a priest, it certainly is uplifting to know that all of those people care for you and are there to support you and encourage you. It's a wonderful celebration.
Can people still get in on that?
They can, yes. There's always the opportunity to do that. I think they can buy tickets off from our website.
Clergyfunds.org.
Yes. Celebrationofpriesthood.org.
Celebrationofpriesthood.org. Thank you.
Father, Mary, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck continuing this, because for so many years priests have sacrificed and have given us the sacraments, and now it's our turn to help them out a little bit, and I encourage everyone who's watching, this is the day today to support your priest.